here in Ontario at the IMAX Regal Cinemark. This place is massive. It is kind of cool. I do think this is cool. I mean, it's a $25 ticket, so I'm hoping for a experience. This is kind of cool. Look at a little Barbie thing. I'm assuming Barbie is gonna beat out. Barbie's gonna beat Oppenheimer. I mean, there's no way it wouldn't. It's kind of cool. They got it's all themed out and everything. Definitely has the kind of experience, premium kind of feel to the place, doesn't it? Hey everybody, this is the review for Oppenheimer, the film. I am leaving the theater right now. I'm in Ontario, California. It is the last day of Comic-Con. So we left Comic-Con. On the way back up to Ventura, California, I said, I want to see Oppenheimer. And this is like the capstone, culminating event to end my Comic-Con week, is seeing this wonderful film by Christopher Nolan. It's by the book, I guess it's based on a book called something Prometheus, so I apologize for that. I don't have it written down in my notes right now. But I'm going to give you my thoughts of the film. So, first off, let's talk about the format, things like that. I did see it here specifically because it is 70 millimeter IMAX. So 70 millimeter, as you can imagine, wider than 35 millimeters. So it's that really big, wide, large film frame. And IMAX, it is massive. I mean, it's like, I don't know, 5 stories tall or whatever. It's a massive freaking screen. It is all film, it's all analog. Now this film, when you see this 70 millimeter IMAX print, it is all analog. The color timing was analog, the editing was analog. Digital ones and zeros never touched this. So it's kind of fun to see that kind of super nerdy, geeky, old school filmmaking kind of process, which was cool. There's some YouTube videos that goes into major detail on how that was made. Really cool. But I wanted to see it that way. I wanted to see it. Now, it was $25, right? So it's an experience. They kind of sell this to you as, this is an experience. This is different than just seeing a movie. This is like, a thing. And right off the bat, I will say that it was pretty good. Pretty darn good. I literally just saw it 5 minutes ago. So I'm still gonna process. So I'm gonna process with you here. First comment is the actual print. It is all full IMAXed out, except for there are scenes where you will see those black bars. You will see the kind of letterboxed kind of feel at times. And it does switch off sometimes between shots in the same scene. So it's not like, say, Dark Knight Returns, where it was like, okay, the IMAX is this outdoor, the panoramic shots, or the establishing shot of Gotham. It's not like that. You're gonna get those big, wide, massive IMAX shots throughout the film. But then there's also these shots where it was not that way. And you would have to watch another video to tell you why that is. And I do not recall the reasoning. But yeah, sometimes that was a little weird because you're like, oh, now it's like, well, we considered a widescreen film, and then they'll do another shot and it'll be like full aspect. So, but it wasn't distracting, but I did notice it. The sound design and the music are amazing. It's gonna get nominated for an Oscar for that, if not win that. It was extremely well designed sound-wise. I mean, you could just listen to this movie and feel the emotion, the sounds, the dissonant, the ambient sounds that ratchet up the tension. The intrigue is all playing with the sound, and it's very well done. I will give one criticism, and that is there's a couple moments in the film where I felt like the sound was actually overpowering the dialogue track. And there were a couple times when I could not catch the words, catch what was saying because of that overbearing sound and music. Now, maybe they wanted that. Maybe that was like, hey, we want this. We want you to be a little confused. We want you to not know. That could be the case. Or it could be an artifact of that room, an IMAX, and just the way those speakers are, and maybe that's an issue too. I'm not sure, but I did notice that. It's shot, visually it's beautiful. There are some close-ups. As far as like, hey, I need to see this on 70 millimeter, I need to see this on IMAX, I will say this. I wanted to do it because I'm a nerd, and I wanted that full, rich experience. But if you have to drive 50 miles to do that, I probably wouldn't, to be honest. This is not an action film. This is not a big, a big superhero battle thing. You don't necessarily need that either. The big moments, the focus on the eye, the quiet moments, the emotional things, those are all also needed for the big screen. But I did feel that it wasn't overkill, but it wasn't, I would say, super necessary. So literally I'm seeing it because I'm like driving through this town as I'm going home. But I would say you don't have to do this. You wouldn't have to. Now, Chris Nolan might say, yes, you do, and this is the way I wanted it, intended, so there you have it. The film has a number of flashbacks and kind of like messes around with the timeline. Their color, black and white times, and most of the time we understand what's going on, but it's all revolving, of course, Oppenheimer's design of the atom bomb that was used against Japan in World War II. And that's really what this is about, is that. But the backbone of the story is also this kind of faux trial he's on, this review board for getting his clearance renewed to be to get his security clearance renewed, to keep his job, to keep his, his status within the community, and keep his reputation. And there were a couple moments where you're like, wait a minute, if this is just a kangaroo court, if this is just really it's fixed, then move to Switzerland, move back to Germany, go somewhere else and just be the great scientist, and father of these inventions that you're known for, and just say screw it. But there are these moments where he talks about his love for the States, and that this is important to him. And so I guess it's that he wanted to kind of keep that reputation alive. And so it's really that's the battle. But again, part of me was like, you know what? Who cares so much about this? But anyway, that's just a little tidbit on that. Yeah, the story was great. It was long. It's 3 hours long, like almost to the dot. 3 hours long. You kind of feel it towards the last half, like after the explosion in Los Alamos. They do the testing. There's still much more after that, and that, you're like, oh, really? What else is going on? Then there's like more of the trial kind of issue. It's a little long. I need to process it. I don't know if it's his best. I actually think, as far as just like entertainment, I liked Prestige better. I liked Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight better. There's certain other ones that I felt like would just grabbed me more, but I just might have to process this. There was some beautiful visuals again, and I did like it a lot. I'm really curious to see what other people think of this movie, but anyway, that's my initial take. I might process this a little bit more and kind of try to think about this film a bit more. Another issue, which is a little bit of some confusion, is that there are a lot of players in this story, a lot of characters, and there's a lot of names going on. And so it is sometimes hard to remember the names as they're talking about certain people and like getting the place of everything, all the scientists and all the stuff. But so that gets a little at times a little confusing as to what's going on. But I think on a second watch you would enjoy it even more, and you could just really like focus in on those big emotional beats and things like that. So that's my take. Thanks for watching, and talk to you guys later.